What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package and infrastructure update, and daily news report for Friday, June 4th. Hopefully you guys had an incredible week. Well, let's get into the update for today. So today is going to be a big day. First off, we know President Biden is supposed to speak with lead GOP negotiator Shelley Moore Capito and later on today to discuss the infrastructure package. President Biden pretty much laid out a plan, according to reports, of he wants to go with a $1 trillion offer, which brings it down about $700 billion from his original or initial plan, and this actually has many people pretty upset. Many are predicting that this weekend will be the end of the negotiations between these two. However, this could continue on depending on which side it goes, and I'll address that in a minute. We know the new Jobless report came out this morning. This is good for the economy. This isn't great for stimulus, but we got more news on this. We also know that the White House issued a statement yesterday on the state of stimulus checks and where President Biden stands. And the big news is that multiple Capitol reporters are indicating that the House does not have the votes to pass President Biden's infrastructure package at this time. And they say that it is because President Biden actually missed multiple promises. So this actually pertains to Social Security, student loan forgiveness, things like that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stick around to the end of this video. But again, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But let's get into the update for today. First, the unemployment rate, okay, this is actually starting to turn out good for the economy. What we know is from the Jobless report today, okay, this is good news. This is for the month of May, okay, we are 1 month behind. Just keep that in mind. So currently, unemployment rose by 559,000 jobs in May. That is good. However, it was a miss on expectations. Expectations were 675,000. Remember, last month was supposed to be 1 million new jobs. However, it was a huge miss, and we came in at like 229,000. So we do know that our current unemployment rate dropped from 6.1% down to 5.8%, which is actually very good for the economy. It shows that we are recovering. As long as we can, kind of keep pace, some say we can be back to our pre-pandemic levels, most likely by the end of 2022. So we're still a little over a year away. Currently, there's still about 9.3 million people on unemployment. As for the different races, here's the way it breaks down. Whites, it's 5.1% unemployment. Hispanics, 7.3%. Blacks, 9.1%. Asians, 5.5%. That is exactly from the report this morning. We also know that only 16.6% of employed people worked remotely. Now, this was 18.3%, I believe, from last month. So this is actually down substantially from this past year's highs. And during the pandemic, I personally predicted we would see many employers just keep their employees at home and work remotely, and that would continue on. So this is actually good news that we are seeing people go back into their office buildings, but let's see if this continues on throughout the summer as well. So far, the economy has regained about 67% of the jobs lost from the pandemic. We only have about 7.6 million more jobs to go to get back to pre-pandemic levels. But many experts are saying that right now they believe about 2 to 3 million people will still be out of a job due to either the business closing, they decided to do something different, some are going to retire, and there's obviously other reasons why as well. The good news though right now is that we are seeing wage hikes. So for the 144 million Americans that are working right now, we're seeing increases in their wages, which is actually pretty good. I believe it was like 14 cents this month. I think it was like 20 cents last month. So we are seeing an increase and a little tick up in wages. So that's always good there. Now, how does all this play into an additional stimulus check? additional unemployment benefits, the extension of the child tax credits. Will we see additional relief to states, cities? Will there be more rental assistance or things for theaters or restaurants or things like that? Well, here's what we know. The White House yesterday was asked about President Biden and the possibility of a fourth stimulus check, and here's what White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki had to say. She says, and I quote, "He's happy to hear from a range of ideas on what would be most effective and what's most important to the economy moving forward." And then she added, "But he's also proposed what he thinks is going to be the most effective for the short term for putting people back to work, to getting through this pivotal period of time, and also to making us more competitive over the long term." Now, there will continue to be a push for additional stimulus checks. I've said this for a while, and I still believe the exact same thing. Things didn't really change just because of the jobless report that came out today, and it didn't really change just because of President Biden lowering his infrastructure package offer. Here's what we know. Economists are touting the stimulus checks as the reason for this economic recovery. They say because of the stimulus checks, not just the direct payments, not just the actual stimulus check, but unemployment benefits, the $300 per week, in addition to those, the state benefits, long-term unemployment, PUA, the child tax credit, nutrition assistance, rental assistance, mortgage assistance, the PPP funding. All this additional stimulus has been, kind of helped the economic recovery. So economists are saying that this is actually good. It's not just the vaccines. It was because of stimulus in conjunction with the vaccines. So without these checks, we would not have had the same success. So what we know right now is experts believe that the economic recovery that we are seeing right now, okay, there is less of a reason for an additional stimulus check, okay, a stimulus check. That is the $1,200, $600, and $1,400 checks. They are saying there's less of a reason for a substantial push for additional stimulus checks. But that is only because the child tax credit payments will make up a huge portion of any lost stimulus. Now, this may be what experts are saying. Well, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But let me give you my opinion as to what we will see. Okay? Because this, honestly, whether you want my opinion or not, here's what we know. We know that as we see the economy recover, as we see the unemployment rate drop, as more people go back into work, there is less of a need for stimulus moving forward. However, the problem, and this is what some lawmakers have discussed in the past, is we are not seeing that the relief for people that have so much back rent. Because some people can't afford or cannot go and get any rental assistance. Number one, because their state is just making it so difficult. Or number two, they just can't get enough support. And so this is what lawmakers tried to pass, $50 billion for rental assistance. Yet the problem is, again, we have an eviction moratorium that ends at the end of June. So the problem right now is people are trying to rush, hurry, and get this rental assistance as quickly as possible before they get evicted from their home. Because once you're evicted, then you go from rental assistance, okay, to more of a homeless assistance. Because now you got to go to a different program because you're not actually in the home. So it's creating a whole nother issue. But what we know right now is experts believe that there will not be as much of a need for an additional stimulus check moving forward. But lawmakers are asking, well, what about all the money that was never paid out? What about all those people that have so much back rent, have so much debt? They've incurred credit card debt and fees because they've been using credit cards to just live off of for the past year. This is what some lawmakers are talking about. However, there's really no proposals at this time. And so what I was telling you last week and even the beginning of this week was, let's wait. Today's the day. Let's wait for today. Let's see what the jobless report comes out and says. So this is actually good news for an economic recovery. That's great. It wasn't substantially better. It wasn't like we got 5.4% unemployment rate. That would have been great for the economy. However, it would have kind of showed somewhat of overheating and in our economy. So right now, this is actually pretty good news. So there's still going to be a push for additional stimulus checks. There's still going to be a push for more unemployment benefits even after September 6th. However, there's also now talks, again, this isn't great, but there's also now talks that some states that didn't originally cancel unemployment benefits or talk about canceling them in the month of June or July, there are reports now that more states are going to consider this because of the economic recovery. So we'll see what happens there. But right now, it's not great news for those that are currently unemployed. One thing I can tell you is that right now, some are still waiting until the child tax credit payments start to go out. Remember when I said that the infrastructure package, if we see a bipartisan bill, it's going to pass hopefully sometime in July. It will pass before August. That's the goal because lawmakers will go on recess for the entire month of August. They will come back in September. What we know is that the child tax credit payments are being looked at as this is a substitute for additional stimulus checks. However, this only helps out people that have children. This won't help out those that don't have children. This won't help out those that are on Social Security and obviously have no children. And this isn't going to help out many college students that don't have children either. This is going to be a huge issue because the child tax credit payments, these monthly payments, are going to go out to those individuals that have children. Well, if you don't have children, well, you're pretty much screwed. What I can tell you is that lawmakers are looking at this child tax credit payment as, okay, when we see the payments go out, which the IRS says it should be around July 15th, that's when the expected date is. But if the payments go out on July 15th, then it will go into the economy, the American people will see it, and let's say by August, the money starts getting spent. Well, if the majority of the money is starting to be spent in August, when will we see the effects of that? Well, we'll see the effects most likely in the reports for September. Well, that's when lawmakers come back. This is one of the reasons why all signs are pointing to, if we see the social infrastructure package pass, if we see any additional stimulus get introduced or passed or whatever, any bills, chances are they're going to pass sometime in September. That's where everything's indicating at this point. Chances are it will be through a budget reconciliation. But again, we would have to start working on that quickly. We would have to start working on that soon, or else it would never pass by September. What I can tell you is that many lawmakers, including Representative Jamal Bowman, are not pleased with President Biden and that they are not happy that he continues to decrease their offer and lower the amount of legislation that he's willing to pass through bipartisan support. We know President Biden started at $2.25 trillion. He then came down to $1.7 trillion. The Republican Party came in at $658 billion and then upped their offer to I think $928 billion. So right now, they're a little ways apart because President Biden went from 1.7 to just the other day. He said, okay, well, I'll agree to $1 trillion. That's at least according to reports. We should know more on that today, but many are saying that right now, President Biden offering just $1 trillion to the GOP, this actually makes lawmakers question whether or not President Biden was serious about that $2.25 trillion offer, or was he just throwing that out there to appease Democrats? We don't know. What we do know is that lawmakers are saying that the GOP dictated bill is not something that they will vote for. And these are Democratic lawmakers, meaning the House doesn't have the support it needs to get the bill passed. No, it doesn't. And this is one of the big issues, is the House of Representatives was supposed to be the easy one. That was going to be the easy one. We'll get it passed, no big deal. We'll kick it over to the Senate, and Senator Schumer will deal with it there. The issue right now is the House doesn't have the votes, either does the Senate. The Senate doesn't have the votes either. So right now, neither house has the votes, and that's turning into a big issue. Something else that many lawmakers have actually stated as well is that President Biden, if he wants to help out the American people, he needs to fulfill the promises that he made when he was running for president. And there's two big ones. And you know what these are. $200 per month for people on Social Security. This is supposed to be a 2-year boost, and right now, Some are saying that the discussions on this have pretty much gone away. There's absolutely no talks on this, which makes me wonder, why would President Biden say something like, hey, let's give $200 per month to people on Social Security as a boost, and yet he doesn't even bring it up? And then there's the student debt forgiveness, student loan forgiveness. What's he doing with that? We know he was supposed to talk with the education secretary and figure out, okay, do I have the right to forgive up to $10,000 in student loans, or up to $50,000? How much can I do? Am I able to do this? And right now, the education secretary hasn't even got back to him. This has been months. If I were to ask somebody for something, just, hey, let me know. Do I have the legal right to do this? I want an answer within days, not months. If this was a priority of mine, I would want an answer quickly. I would not wait months and just wait around twiddling my thumbs for an answer or response, especially if you are the President of the United States. So, after the Jobless report came out this morning, we started to see reports of talks coming in from other states, okay, like I mentioned a little bit ago, from other states, that they could cancel their federal unemployment benefits. Now, this could happen. There's right now 25 states that are already on board canceling their benefits as soon as June 12th, and some are going to go as late as July 3rd. What I can tell you is that more states are going to consider this because of the economic recovery, because more people are trying to go and get jobs, more people are going back to work, and some are saying this is due to the fact that, yes, that because of some states canceling these benefits. However, I don't think that this is the entire story. I do want to wait around and see what's going to happen. My guess is over the next 4 weeks, we're going to get reports of other states that might jump on board as well. So we'll see what happens there. We also know that the House Democrats are actually putting together another bill just in case the negotiations between President Biden and Shelley Moore Capito, they don't go as planned. So right now, I think there's like 2 or 3 additional bills that are currently being discussed for infrastructure. So just keep that in mind. Right now, there's multiple bills out there for infrastructure. The one between President Biden and Shelley Moore Capito, that's the one that we really need to keep an eye on and watch for, because that's the one that would most likely pass. However, at this time, many lawmakers are not happy with President Biden, and because of that, they want to see other options. So we'll see what happens there. But what I can tell you is there's going to be more talks on stimulus. Is it going to happen? Is a stimulus check going to happen? Honestly, I can't tell you that. I don't know. My honest opinion is yes, I do see additional stimulus checks happening. I don't see it happening in June. Could it happen in July? It could. I hope it does. But my honest opinion, based off everything I've read and everything I've watched, interviews, listened to, everything, my guess is if we see an additional stimulus check, it's going to happen in the social infrastructure package, which most likely would not even pass until possibly September. So I don't know what else we can really do other than just call our representatives, make sure they know how they could help us. Again, I say this the other day. I know some people actually did. If you reach somebody, great. But that's really all we can do at this point. One thing I just want to say is that I will keep you updated on everything that's going on. There's a lot of discussions happening right now. Lawmakers are actually on recess. Okay, just keep that in mind. This week, lawmakers have been on recess, yet the reports keep coming out of new things that they are discussing. And that's actually really good news, because usually when they come back to Capitol Hill, when they come back to Washington, that's when we start to see some movement. So next week should be a pivotal week, but as always, I'll let you know as we know more. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Have an incredible weekend this weekend as well. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.